Oh yeah.
What can you say about religion? Like what words matter? You know what I mean? Like about religion. I think what the organized religions, the Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Catholicism. You know, all the main ones. I think they got principles in them uh, that attract, you know, a certain kind of following. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's necessary for you to practice those religions to get the benefits of those principles. And I think it's a lot more fuckery that happens once you start believing, um, you know, taking these things as truth, right? Personally, that's what I feel. I recognize it's millions of people who live these lifestyles that are not on the top echelon of the organizations, and just basically it's a tradition they've been taught, and it works for them in their life at times, you know what I mean? But in the root of religion is this idea that we're separate from from what we are. You know what I mean? Like there's a creator outside of you, you know, that's controlling uh, everything, but it's separate, you know, and just logically, it's like Santa Claus,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
And like
So,
you were saying, historically organized religion is tied to an authority structure,
right,
and is,
totally, man. Yeah. So but I study. I think religion, the intention of the sincere person is the part that's powerful. You know, that's the part. Is I think you get lost in the dogma. You get lost in questions that you can't answer. You know what I mean? Really, you know, and then that's what caused all the wars and you know, my God is this and your God and kill you motherfuckers, and you know, and all the worst shit that be happening in the name of whose God is right or whatever. So on that note, you know, I think people and plants and animals and wind and rain and stardust and planets is the real shit. You know, light, the living shit is as divine as you gonna get. And we not 100% good, and we not 100% bad.
yeah.
You know what
I've
I mean?
almost even heard like people express that it's like almost knocking life and how great it is to say like there's this better thing or whatever,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
as if it's not special,
yeah.
as if it's
And I think that's the subtle thing, like, cause you know, especially in my neighborhood, my community, like, to challenge the belief in God goes real deep with people, you know, and people, we so beat down by the system, beat down by other folks' interpretation of our culture, that we associate everything that's right and good with this abstract figure. You know what I'm saying? And so to say, you know, to question that, people take that as a question of everything they hold on to.
yeah, the whole identity and stuff is wrapped up in it.
Yeah. So, but I understand that, because when you oppress, when you live in oppress, sometimes you have to psych yourself out. You got to make it just for the day, and these different beliefs help people, I guess, cope. You know, and if you're interested in coping as opposed to rebelling, then you know religion is right up your alley. You know what I'm saying? But if you wanna see the truth, you wanna create your own heaven on earth, or create be your own master. You know what I mean? Then you might have to go outside of other folks' version of religion and find out what you want to be religious about, which is, what do you want to rely on? You know, I think we should rely on experience. You know what I'm saying? Um, and wisdom of other people, but ultimately testing it, and don't get clinging on to nothing. I think we can be fair, we can be just, we can we can be we can be have solidarity and all those things without saying that it's a divine something outside ourselves that's making us do it. I think we ultimately, because there's people believe God, right? And look at the world. So that ain't the ultimate solution. So I think the ultimate thing is when we say, you know what, I don't know if God gonna help us or not, but it makes sense to live on this motherfucking planet, to treat people with compassion. It makes sense to, act in a way that's gonna make a sustainable relationship. And I think that's within humans to do that. And we've been waiting and praying for thousands of years for something else to do it, and the shit ain't happened yet. So, nigga like
Yeah,
me,
we gotta
man,
do it ourselves.
that's my 2 cents, man. But I, with no disrespect to someone who may not be at that point in they understanding or whatever, I might change tomorrow if I find out some information. You know what I mean? But just that's what I think. I feel like we waste time, and we really like it's like a form of insanity a lot of times because we try to make these impossible ideas real.
And that only leads to destruction usually.
Yeah, you know what
Trying
I'm
to bring
saying?
something that isn't real into reality by any means.
Yeah.
You fuck shit up doing that.
You dig? So, to me, the 5% nation has their own take on what God is, and putting God as your own responsibility is you. The Buddha has, and Buddhism has a view on what God is that says it's you. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? So I think you can practice religious ideas with compassion, you know what I mean, without being a slave, and that's the key. Even Malcolm, I think, was a brilliant example of change. He was a religious person. He found a moral code that fit him, but he was about liberation before all that shit. And he coined the phrase, "Put your religion in your back pocket," and be able to say that's my personal code and get me through the day. But when it comes to my people, when it comes to the struggle, I don't get that confused. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of my motto, man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Salute.
Fucking awesome,
And,
man.
and God bless.
God bless
Go to church.
God bless America.
Church. I unite and I co-sign. To all the sticks said, I don't have a whole lot more to say. I just have to say that I think we've seen like the potential um, bad will, bad mind, and wrongdoing that organized religion can bring in the hands of the exploiter. Um, I don't think we've seen the potential good the spirituality can bring us in this present realm. We may have achieved it in another realm, but we haven't even seen the potential good because the overshadowing, you know, uh, regard about what we're living under, especially as it relates to our spirituality or religion, which is a whole other thing than spirituality, is all related to oppression, to our oppression.
Yeah, it's all related to an administration with a hierarchy and a power
So
structure.
with that being said, and that's like, if you want to take things, like just on a certain spiritual level, like I just want to say that basically stick with everything that I want to say pretty much in a nutshell. I just got to say, in order to figure out what we're thinking about, even our spirituality, we have to understand where we sit on a political uh, spectrum, where we sit, because we like as much as we like to, we can't pray ourselves out of it. We can't monk ourselves out of a certain situation. We've seen what happened. I know these things for sure. You know what I mean? I don't know a lot of things, but I definitely know that you could pray all day and sit in a group and huddle. They'll just run you over with a tank. You know what I'm saying? And that'll be that. You know what I mean? And we've seen that over and over again. But what we do know is that we have to be able to scientifically dissect what the hell the world is putting at us in a way that can make us all be able to see it clearly, put our hand on a picture of it, no matter what place in the world you're coming from, east, west, north, or south, or what class that you're coming from, ruling class, petty bourgeoisie, working class. You got to be able to see the world from this particular way and unite with it in order to move the world that way. And so that's what I think about, and I regard that I regard that more than anything, more than, and unfortunately, I've been subjected to enslavement. So unfortunately, my history, my legacy have been of theft, robbery, pillaging, rape, bloodletting, skullduggery, the worst kind of shit you can think about in mankind. That's what I've been. That's what my legacy has been for the last few years. So I ain't really been able to think for 2 seconds about realistically what my so-called religion could be, because my religion has been staying alive. And that's what religion for my people has been for the longest time. And we even associate that with any religion that we got, even Catholicism or Vodun or Santeria or anything that we got, any, even Baptist, African, Methodist, Episcopal, whatever you got is all related to somehow a survival structure. And that's just basically what it is. And I think that's some bullshit, especially when we're talking about something that's free as spirituality. So whatever, that's my 2 cents added on the sticks. Put it out.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?